Time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move.
Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know that Allie Carter had been on top of this Diddy mess right from the beginning. And this new Diddy documentary just made her even louder than ever. Because according to her, 50 Cent didn't do a very good job at telling us everything Diddy did. Allie has been very vocal about the media censoring out details of what Diddy allegedly did to people, because the details will be way too graphic for people to accept. Allie has been making some wild allegations about a secret bunker, in which people who are not adults were confined against their will, while disturbing ritualistic activities were performed on them. In fact, Allie claims she was a victim of this herself. Apparently, she was taken when she was just 15 years old, and since then, she hasn't been totally free. She said she saw young people locked in heavy metal chains, while Illuminati activities were done on them.
There are 3, 4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs with them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual meetings, and they literally hang them. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get blood dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Who are these under 18-year-olds? And where were their parents when this wickedness was being done? Well, Allie never gave a direct answer to this question, but she alluded to them possibly being shipped into the country from less privileged countries under the guise of a better life. Some of the parents also knew all about it, but they didn't care as long as their checks were being cleared on time.
When I went, they tried to feed us, and I remember it because when
Pig
you
night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
Really?
If you are doing, or if you are a guy doing it, you will shit everywhere.
But here's where it gets crazy. Once Allie started spilling all this tea, her life was threatened. Apparently, she was even listed to be a witness in the just-ended Diddy trial, but she disappeared at the last minute because strange people had been following her around to end her. According to reports, the feds officially decided to put Allie into witness protection when she posted a video telling people that she didn't think she was going to be alive for much longer because she and her family were not safe. Apparently, armed men had been paid to come after her, and they actually got very close to taking her out at one point. She actually went on live to show us a video of what her house looked like after some goons broke into it. It turns out they broke in looking for her, but since she wasn't home that day, they ransacked the entire place to send a message that they had been there.
You get pressured, attacked, harassed, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that fucking mattered. Okay? You had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the price. This is the price of speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marx, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of my shit. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and show up somewhere and talk and monetize every fucking thing that they're saying. When you realize that that shit is bull, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can fucking have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
Now, the thing is, Allie wasn't surprised that the feds didn't take her seriously. It's a well-known fact that these people are bought by these elites. Her main problem was the fact that regular folks were also calling her crazy, when all she was trying to do was bring their attention to the nastiness that was going on behind the scenes.
Nobody ever thinks about the victims. Nobody. The victims' lives get turned around when the predators' lives want to just get announced. You slap them on the wrist and you bring up every source of trauma for the victim. But nobody wants to stop and think about that. We're not talking about the victims that are still going through this right now with other people who are running to cover their and deleting their social medias.
Anyway, after the recent Diddy documentary, Allie was reportedly disappointed because she thought 50 Cent was going to highlight more on Diddy's crimes. But from the looks of it, he did exactly what the prosecutors did. They just wanted to humiliate him rather than actually expose the crimes he has already committed against under 18-year-olds. In fact, she took matters into her own hands by filing an affidavit in which she exposed intimate details of his alleged crimes. The affidavit named Birdman, Denzel Washington, and Young Jock as alleged accomplices. The affidavit read, "Young ones are literally set on a table and had to wait for people to come choose them for intimate acts. Once they were done having X, the young ones were placed back on the party favor table, and someone else could then come and pick them out from the table and repeat the process. I had to sleep with so many people. Fetishes were happening everywhere, and they kind of separated them into areas where specific fetishes were happening. For instance, the fetish of having X in red fluid was in one area, while sleeping with animals was in another area. I had to sit on the party favor table and wait to be chosen, the way someone would choose a gift bag off the table at a birthday party." She added, "I was then told to lie on the table with the girl who was my age. Then they brought in donkeys and burros, and they made us do things with them. There were several girls who had to get down with animals while everyone watched." Now, mind you, Allie didn't put everything in this affidavit, meaning there's a lot more to this mess than she's letting out. There was even a photo of Allie herself with her mouth taped, looking scared and traumatized. The crazy thing is, 50 Cent is very much aware of the things Allie has been saying for a while now, and still didn't include her or her allegations in the documentary. This is exactly what the prosecutors did to her, too. So remember what I said earlier about her reportedly being taken to witness protection? Well, according to Allie, the prosecutors wanted her to testify against Diddy, but once they realized that a good chunk of her testimony was geared towards exposing Diddy's crimes against under 18-year-olds, and not just his freak-offs, she stopped her from testifying altogether. Allie said they did this because they wanted to humiliate Diddy, but her testimony was going to open a can of worms that would expose people way beyond just Diddy. And of course, they didn't want that because Diddy was their main target right now, not the politicians and other high-profile celebrities.
I heard that there was 100 witnesses on the case, and I don't know if they even got through all of those witnesses, but Maureen Comey is the prosecutor of this case, on this case in New York City, and she never asked about the children. And there's so many people who wanted me to be a witness on this trial, and I want to explain jurisdiction. I know some people don't understand jurisdiction.
As usual, people had their own thoughts, like this person who said, "OMG, God, please give the victims justice and stop this illegal mess. He's still getting away with his bullshit. I can't stand it." Another person said, "He said he has more footage. He hasn't put it in the documentary yet. He want to make sure the diddler gets diddled." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about 50 Cent leaving Allie Carter out of the documentary? Do you really think he left her out because what she had to say didn't match the narrative he was pushing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.